Hey guys, it's Miss Deba with your day 1 notes for algebra for the year. So this should be for cohort B since you're home, and then cohort V. So today's notes are really just a review of pre-algebra from last year. So we're going to start off with expression versus equation. An expression is something maybe that looks like this. An equation would be something like this. Hopefully you guys notice the difference. In an expression, you just have some terms here being added or subtracted, but in an equation, you have an equal sign. That's the difference between the two. So the definition for terms, I know I mentioned it here, terms are just what's being added or subtracted. So terms are what's being added or subtracted. I do abbreviate a lot just to get through it a little quicker. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Shoot me an email. The key with terms is you always take the sign in front. So if you look at this here, our terms, the first one would be 2x. The second term would be 7. But the third term would be negative 3y. Because remember back to pre-algebra, it's the same as saying 2x plus 7 plus a negative 3y. So you always take that sign in front. Okay, a variable is just a letter that represents a number. Okay, so in this expression, our variables are just x and y. The next basic term that you should remember from last year is coefficient. Your coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So if we go back to our original example here, our coefficients would be 2 because it's in front of x. 7 does not have a variable, so we don't leave that alone. And this is negative 3y, so the coefficient would be negative 3. The constant is that 7 that's just standing there alone. So a constant is a number that stands alone. Okay, and that would just be that 7. Now I'm continuing to go on. Pause this at any point that you need. I just don't want to make the videos really, really long for you guys. So just kind of stop it as you see fit. So this first example, if you were in class, I would have you guys try this. So if you want to pause it now and try to write down your terms, your coefficients, and your constants. So here are the answers. So your terms, you have 17x, you have negative 2, you have 8y, negative 16, and negative x. Remember, you take that sign in front. The coefficients are the numbers in front of the variable. So you have 17. The next one would be 8. Now this one you have to be careful with. This is a negative x, which could be rewritten as negative 1x. So your coefficient is negative 1. If you just had a positive x, the coefficient would be 1 because it's 1x. And then the last one is the constant. The constants are just the numbers that stand alone. So you have negative 2 there, and then negative 16. Okay, so hopefully you remember all of that from pre-algebra. The next terms are like terms. For two terms to be like, you have the same variable and the same exponent. So examples would be maybe 2x, negative 3x. You can have like 5xy, 6xy, x squared, negative x squared. They all have the same variable and the same exponent. Here your exponents are 1, here your exponents are 1, and here they are 2. Examples or non-examples, so I'm just going to put a big, nope. You could have maybe like 2x and 3y. They are not like terms because you have an x and a y. Maybe 2x and 3x squared. These are not like terms because you have an x and a 1 and a 2. 2xy and 3x squared y. They are not because you have different exponents. And then if you maybe have a number like this, 7 and 5x, they are also not like terms because you have an x here and there's no x there. Again, pause this if you need to, but I'm going to keep moving on to the back. This is a review, which is also why I'm kind of just moving along. So this next page is, nope, sorry. This happens a lot, so. The back of the notes is how do you combine like terms? Well, to combine like terms, all you do is add or subtract the coefficients. So that's what you're going to write in that line there. Remember, the coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables. When you add and subtract the coefficients, the variables stay the same. So if you start with an x, you stay with an x. You don't make it x squared. That's when you multiply. So you're only adding and subtracting. So sometimes it helps if you have different colors. Sometimes you maybe want to underline and circle. So I would look here and I say I have 3x and then I have a positive 7x. So 3x and 7x would give you 10x. And then maybe here, use a different color. I have negative 8 plus 7. I know you guys probably love integers. Negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. You are finished because you have an x here and you don't have an x here, so you can't combine them. Okay, the next one, they're all x squares. So here you have a negative 1 plus a 3 minus a 4, taking the sign in front. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2, minus 4, you get negative 2. You bring that variable down. Remember, the variable stays the same. The next problem, you have an x and a y. It's simplified. You can't do anything with that. So the final answer would just be 2x minus 3y. And the last type of problem here, you have y to the third minus y to the third. Well, if y to the third, let's say, was 5, 5 minus 5 is just 0. So these guys cancel out. You then have 2y squared plus y squared. If it helps, throw in that 1 there. So 2 plus 1 is 3y squared. And that's it. The next is distributive property. With distributive property, remember you're taking the number outside and you're multiplying through everything inside the parentheses. 2 times x, 2x, 2 times 7, 14. 3 times x, 3x, 3 times, remember we take this sign in front, negative 6. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18, or 3x minus 18. Same thing here, negative 4 times y is negative 4y. Negative 4 times positive 2 is negative 8. And at any time, stop these and try them on your own. That way you know if you're on the right track. And then play my answer. So 7y minus 21. All right, the last part of this is very important. This is a common error we see all the time in algebra. There's a difference between negative 4 in parentheses squared and negative 4 squared. If you have parentheses, it's the same as saying negative 4 times negative 4, which is positive 16. If you have it without parentheses, following PEMDAS, you would square it first, which is 16, then put that minus. So if you have negative 4 in parentheses all squared, you get 16. If you have negative 4 squared without parentheses, it's just negative 16. So here we're plugging in. You put an 8 in, so it's negative 8 all squared. So it's like saying negative 8 times negative 8 So you get positive 64. Here we have negative, and then you put a 10 in squared, so it's just like this. You square 10, you get 100, bring down that minus sign. I would stop this and try these and then play me after here. So you have a negative 5 inside squared. So you want to do this first. Negative 5 squared, 25. So this is done, but you still need to bring that down. Last example. You have negative, but you have a negative 7 all in there. So a negative, double negative, make a positive, right? So it just becomes 7 squared, 49. Okay? So cohort A, cohort A, we're doing the worksheet in class. Cohort B and cohort V, you'll have a Google Doc assignment. This will be done over today and tomorrow. Tomorrow I will post a video going through all of the correct answers. It's really, really important for you guys at home to watch those videos every time I post them. I kind of show my work and explain each step by step. Okay, so cohort B, I need you guys to bring in these notes on Thursday so I can see that you did them. Cohort V, I want you to upload a picture of the notes, and this will all be in my written instructions as well. Have a great day, guys.